Anywho.
Yeah. Anywho, welcome everyone to episode 77 of the GGG Podcast. Got a great show for you today. Dune: The Dark Ages comes out this week. We got a gigantic Helldivers update, some Marvel 1943 delays, a huge Humble Bundle spring sale, and we are also going to talk about the Dune Awakening beta that happened this last weekend. Both Phil and I got a chance to play it. We're going to break it down for you for the main topic. But before we get into all that, if you haven't already liked and subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. And if you're listening to the audio-only version on Spotify or Apple Podcast, like us over there, follow us over there as well. Joining me, as always, Phil from Los Angeles, California. Phil, how you doing this week? Has it been a good video game week for you, man? What's been going on?
It's been hot as hell, but it's been a good week otherwise. I've only been playing, I played a bit of Dune, so we could talk about it. But I've only been playing Clear Obscure otherwise. Like I called last year's game of the year, I'm shooting my shot early and saying this is it.
Wow.
But yeah, that's the only thing I want to be doing. It's such a good game. And every time I I should play Oblivion, and look at it, and then my mouse cursor just slowly slides down to Clear Obscure.
Yeah, I gotta delete Oblivion to make room for Doom. So
yeah, and honestly, no loss. Too big of a game file.
It's way too big.
In like a megabyte, whatever.
It's crazy. I think the original Oblivion was like 4 gigabytes. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. What else? So you've been just playing Expedition 33 then, pretty much.
Pretty much. I don't think I have much else. I'm definitely looking forward to Doom. And as I said, I played a bit of Dune, but that's it. It's I'm in the end game now, and man, it's juicy.
How many acts are there?
I believe there is 3 acts, and I'm in the 3rd act.
Okay.
And we should, once you get to Act 3, if you're interested in doing it, we should consider a spoiler cast, because there is some stuff going on in that game that I'm very excited about.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I have made... I've also been playing Expedition 33. I have made some progress, but my progress has significantly slowed since what happened. Like I talked about what happened last week, where I discovered I was supposed to be at least level 22, and I was level 17. And I'm still encountering that problem where I've made some headway into Act 2. I fought some Act 2 bosses, but now I've gotten to this boss in Act 2 where if he hits me once, I'm dead.
It's GG's.
And now I'm like level 22, but I should be like level 26 or something like that. And
so here's what I discovered when I got to the end game, that I was encountering that problem nonstop. Like, there is a steep incline in difficulty that when you even can handily beat the boss that leads you into Act 3, all of a sudden you go around and you see these things in the world, and you're like, oh, let me fight that. And it just cleans your clock. So I changed the difficulty to story mode for a little while, and now I feel comfortable. It's not a multiplayer game. Not hurting nobody. Just having a better time.
Turn it on to dad mode. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Who's got the time?
That's fair. Maybe I should do that, honestly, because I'm getting to the point of... Because now what I've been doing is I left that boss who was kicking my ass, and I've gone back into the open area, and I've been fighting guys. What I've been doing is I've been Pokemon training.
Grinding.
Yeah. I've been Pokemon training. I'm like, all
I
right.
choose you, Mayel.
Let's make sure everyone's at this level. So yeah. But that has been a little bit difficult. And I totally play with the expectation of I'm going to parry or dodge most of these. But definitely the first time I'm fighting a new enemy, I'm I don't know his animations yet. I got to learn his animations so that I can dodge this correctly. So yeah. But aside from that, I have been playing more Valheim, as per the usual, my my Lincoln Logs Lego brain wants to keep building in that game, so I've been very excited about building that. And I have been playing Helldivers as well,
Ooh.
which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. So I'm very excited about that. But before we get into the news, let's talk about this major release this week, one I've been bringing up for many months, and that is Doom: The Dark Ages. So finally coming out 2 days after we're recording this, and some people already have access to the game. Most people should be able to pre-download it through Xbox Game Pass and whatnot. So that's exciting, and pretty much the review embargo's been lifted, so reviews are being published. And what's its Metacritic sitting at right now, Phil?
It's sitting at a respectable 85 on Metacritic.
That's good.
Yeah. I think that's by modern game standards, that's good.
Yeah.
That's not amazing, but it's very good.
It is very good. And I actually was a little bit concerned leading up to the release of this game over this last week, because I've been hearing people getting their hands on it and being like, it doesn't feel like Doom Eternal. It feels slower. It feels a little clunkier. And that's definitely been, from what all of the reviews have been saying, is the biggest difference between Doom Eternal and Doom: The Dark Ages, where Doom Eternal focused a lot more on movement, on grappling over here and dodging and slashing and shooting, and then, jumping over here, whereas Doom: The Dark Ages feels like you have a sword and a shield, and you have a shotgun, and you have some guns, but you're meant to stand there and be Captain America and, or be the classic sword and shield hero kind of a thing.
That actually sounds more appealing to me than most of Doom and Doom Eternal, because while I like those games, I felt like the movement and the chaos in that, it was just kind of get overwhelming,
overstimulating. Yeah, totally.
It's just I don't know. This guy's flashing, and I also don't love in Doom, the flashing opponent thing. I wish that there was another less gamey thing they could do to tell. That's just my own gripe. That said, I do feel like a slower, more purposeful movement Doom guy is right up my alley, because picturing Doom guy before just jumping around and flying 30 feet at a guy because you click the right thumbstick in and ripping his eyeball out and shoving it in his mouth is cool, but it was just a bit too much of 360 no scope monster energy for me. So
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm down for either way. So I had a great time with Doom 2016. I had a great time with Doom Eternal. I will agree with you. It is very overstimulating. But once you get in, I felt like in that game, once I got in the right rhythm and that music kicked in, I'd just be flying all over the place, destroying everything. And it was very, very satisfying. So, I'm excited to check this game out. I will be pre-downloading it probably after we finish recording this today. So I'm very excited to get into it. And I'm happy that, look, it's an 85. It's not amazing, but it's still good. And I think it takes a lot for a third iteration of a game to still be good and still have a new flavor of gameplay that it's putting out there. So
absolutely.
Yeah, that definitely says a lot. So, all right, but let's get into the gigantic Helldivers 2 update that released this morning, along with the Warbond that was announced last week. I think we might have brought up the Warbond last week, or we didn't get too into it.
I don't think we got to it, but that is the one where you can use a flag and a saber and all that such.
Yes, so there's an official sword called the Saber in the game. There's a new marksman rifle called the Amendment, and there is a new support weapon, which is a flag/spear. So that's very exciting, but at the same time, it's lots of stuff that you're like, this is kind of for fun, and I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to fight things with this stuff.
It seems like that's for the memes, impaling something on a flag, while cool, also seems like it's gonna get your ass eaten by a bug.
Yes, absolutely. But with this update this morning, you're probably not going to be fighting a lot of bugs, because there was revealed a major Illuminate attack has revealed itself and has come through the Meridia black hole. They used it as a warp gate or something, and there is a giant Illuminate fleet closing in on Super Earth as we speak, people. As we speak.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Phil, it's not good. We need to.
How many soldiers do we think are going to get Doom Dark Aged pulled away from this game?
I don't know. So here's the thing. So I played Helldivers yesterday, and when I was online yesterday, there were 13,000 Helldivers online. Now, I wasn't on at like a peak time. 13,000 is kind of bad numbers. And then I logged in this morning and played the update that happened today, and just on one planet, there was 100,000 Helldivers just on a single planet.
Holy smokes.
So,
yeah, well, they're trying to get it done before Doom comes out.
Exactly. So yeah, but with this update, along with the Warbond, there are 3 new Illuminate enemies. There is a new Illuminate bomber gunship that does like strafing bomb runs, which is horrible. There is this giant like zombie like a bunch of zombies were just pushed into one, kind of like one of those enemies in The Last of Us 2. Spoiler alert for people watching the TV show. I'm sure that's coming. So there's those you have to, and you can shoot them with regular guns, but they just won't go down. So you kind of have to treat them like chargers with the bugs. And there's now a Illuminate like heavy gunner who's got like this giant gun over their shoulder and like shoots just explosive bursts out. So it's awesome.
That sounds rad.
Yeah, it's awesome that there's new enemy types. There's also been updates to all of the weapons. Oh, and the biggest thing, Phil, is they have added weapon leveling up and weapon customization within the game. And so now if you're like, I really love using the Breaker Incendiary in Helldivers 2, you use it enough, you'll level it up, and then you can buy different scopes, or you're like, oh, this gun has too much kick, let me buy a grip for it, so its handling is better, or something like that. And so there's a new like little meta for the hardcore Helldiver players to get in there and grind for. So I am all about this.
I do love that. That's one of the things I felt like wasn't necessarily missing. I enjoyed you just get the gun, but now I'm like, oh, I can really put some time in and like craft my gun.
Yeah. And I also looked and saw that there are weapon like loadout slots, not with your support weapons, but like let's say like I was using the example of the Breaker Incendiary. This is my Breaker Incendiary with the iron sights, but the grip. And then, no, this is my second Breaker Incendiary, just the classic, how it usually is. Or this is my Breaker Incendiary with, laser sight attachments. And so you can have all of those slotted already and just go through which Breaker Incendiary do I want to use that I've customized. So that's really cool, too. You don't have to go in every single time and futz with it. So, yeah, loving this update. I was going on a tirade because I'm excited about it, but is this enough to get you to put your cape back on, Phil?
Listen, probably, but here's the problem. I'm fighting Nevrons. I'm busy. No, I definitely do need to get back into Helldivers. There's so many like really fun multiplayer games that I want to play, and because I think of Helldivers 2 making such an impact and having so many like fun, silly moments with the boys. Like it's created a feeling that I have tried to recreate with Lethal Company, and in bits and starts kind of works, but nothing quite has hit that high that Helldivers is. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to get back in there.
Yeah, you should. It is. I played one mission this morning on Widow's Harbor, which is the planet that's currently under siege. Not Pearl Harbor, but Widow's Harbor. And
Widow.
And it is chaos because all of the objective is just like defend the planet. And so it's like, go to this area, kill a certain number of enemies. That's it. and
survive.
And they just keep coming. Yeah, so it is crazy. Very, very exciting though. All right. Shall we press further into the news, Phil? What we got next on the news list?
Let's press that bad boy.
Ooh.
Next on the news list, we are talking about Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra getting a bit of a delay from 2025 to 2026. Is this surprising you, Paul?
No, not at all.
No. No.
No, we have seen absolutely nothing from this game. Oh my God, you have Gatorade. I'm so jealous. I want Gatorade now. But we've seen nothing from this game. So, like, we saw the original trailer, which looked really cool. We know that Amy Hennig is working on it. You know, a game director that I love. She worked on the Uncharted series. I think she's truly a master of her craft. So if the game is delayed, it's delayed because she knows it needs more time, and that's just how it has to be. So I'm cool with that.
I've got a bit of a take here, Paul.
Okay.
So, Amy Hennig,
Yes,
worked on, I think, probably one of the most loved games of all time, Uncharted 2. Time it came out, like, that was, I feel like, kind of her claim to fame. That was like the big thing.
Totally.
In the interim, we have not gotten Star Wars 1313, which is going to be her game. I think about a young Boba Fett or about young Han Solo. I can't remember exactly. Star Wars 1313, and then also Forspoken, which not known for having incredible writing and being very well received. Are we maybe? I'm setting my expectations low for Marvel 1943 because of sort of what I feel like is a bit of a decline for Amy Hennig.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. That's my take.
So, I mean, I think the only problem is, like, really the only thing we've seen is Forspoken. Because I think she was working on Star Wars 1313, but there was then another Star Wars game that was not that game that she was working on. That got canceled as well. And, like, I don't know if we can blame her for Star Wars cancellations, given, like, the EA debacle with the license, and then Disney going to Ubisoft and then giving them the license. And so I don't know if we can hold her accountable for that. I know that she's a great storyteller. And I think that also just as a director, as far as like the shots that we're seeing, like, and we look at the Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra trailer, I guess it was technically, it's like, it looked really good. You know, there were good actors in it, good shots, good storytelling, you know, so I think that's the part that we can hold her accountable for. I don't know if, like, the gameplay is going to be great. But I think, like, one of my big problems with Marvel's Avengers, the multiplayer game, was, like, I felt like a lot of the gameplay wasn't designed for a specific Avenger. It was just like, we made like a template so you can play as Iron Man and you can play as Captain America, and they're going to play differently, but we didn't build these games in mind for these two characters. We built this game so that you can control an avatar, you know, and
with specific abilities.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I pulled up some of Amy Hennig's work, and egg on my face, she did work on Legacy of Kain and Soul Reaver games, so she can do whatever she wants. She can literally do nothing ever again, and I'd be very happy with her because those games are excellent. But yeah, she was creative director and a writer for Uncharted 1 through 3 and Golden Abyss. She was story consultant. A writer for Battlefield Hardline pretty recently. Which is the cop Battlefield game.
Yeah.
And then in 2023, story concept was Forspoken, and then Marvel 1943, she is back to the role of producer and writer. So I think this says some good things for it. You said if it's delayed, it's delayed. I'd rather have it delayed than bad. So let's do it. I think these two characters work really well in sort of a Metroidvania type game, being T'Challa and Captain America. They are very interesting characters to see that type of thing. So, and from what I've been led to believe, that is kind of the game that we're getting. World War II game. I don't know if that's just theories I've heard, but a game where you switch between the two of them seems like it'd be a really fun uh, uh, way to experience these characters. We'll see. We'll see what comes of it.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? We haven't seen any gameplay for this game.
Hmm.
And so that's really the big question mark. And so kind of what I was alluding to earlier, it's like Captain America and Black Panther, they are different superheroes, but they're in the realm of like the gameplay is going to be similar.
Hmm.
And so if they can really tune that while still making them feel like different characters, I think that that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Will it be as simple of a transition as Peter Parker and Miles Morales? Probably not. But yeah. So
It's a tough one. If they make that game work, though, I'm again day one, but anything Marvel, so that's my problem.
Ugh, excuse me. Do you think you could see this coming out in like March 2026?
I feel like that'd be kind of the perfect spot, that March February zone where it's like maybe we're after the holidays, there hasn't been a really huge game, and then bam, this one drops. It's a solid 20-hour action, search action or Metroidvania game.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, pressing right along in the news, there is a huge Humble spring sale going on right now. Phil and I and everyone at the GGG podcast just wants you to get in on deals because we hate spending money too, but we love video games. And so
Yep.
there is a huge sale going across. I'm going to name some of the games that are on sale right now. Assassin's Creed Valhalla Complete Edition was originally $140. It's now $28. I'd buy Assassin's Creed Complete Edition for $28. That sounds pretty damn good. But you got other
Yeah.
games like Deep Rock Galactic, favorites of mine, Valheim, V Rising is on sale. Red Dead Redemption is $15. That's, the single player and the multiplayer together. Hogwarts Legacy Deluxe Edition is $70. It's $17.50 right now. And, you can have your J.K. Rowling feelings, and like I echo them as well. But as far as just being a video game, Hogwarts Legacy still a very good game and one of my favorite games of the year it came out. So I think that game's great as well. Dragon's Dogma 2 made huge waves last year. It's on sale for $40 right now. That's pretty good. Any others that you see on this list that you would heavily recommend, Phil?
Yeah, I mean, I have come back to Cyberpunk 2077 in the past few years. That game is $24 right now. The DLC, I think, included brings it up to 48 for the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
which is still a great deal for the amount of time you're going to get and how it is a completely different game than the original. Dying Light 2 Reloaded Edition, so that's got all the bits and bobs added, is running for $20. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, if you really enjoyed Assassin's Creed Black Flag and the Yakuza games, have I got good news for you. You can do both. Uh, but yeah, a lot of great stuff on here. So decent time to like go save some money and play some old games in the backlog. Although I do feel like we are in kind of a glut of good games releasing right now. It's
Yes.
never a bad time to save one for later.
Yeah, I mean, just get bundles, man. Get bundles. All of these games in this list are good, and there's even more on the store if you want to go through and buy them. Basketball season is ending. That means the 2K25 is on sale for $10 right now instead of
Hmm.
its usual ridiculous price and whatnot. So yeah. All right. All right. What we have last on the news, Grand Theft Auto 4, that you heard me right. Grand Theft Auto 4, there might be a remake in the works to titillate, to satiate the Grand Theft Auto community until Grand Theft Auto 6 releases next year in May. Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, I think I was like 14 or 15 when that game came out. And so it was really, I had played other Grand Theft Autos, but it's my favorite Grand Theft Auto, if I'm being
Hmm.
honest. I loved Nico Bellic, the main character that you play in that game. It was definitely my welcome to like the Grand Theft Auto world. I could see it being a decent remake, but all of the other Grand Theft Auto remakes have just been like, we've smoothed over some textures, and that's the extent of what we did. So I don't know
good
if
news. Now it's in 1080p.
Yeah, it was in 720 before. You're like, okay, all right. I can't even notice the difference. So I don't know. If this is like some super cheap thing that I can pick up, absolutely, I'll probably get it. But I doubt that it'll be some super cheap thing. It'll probably be some expensive rebrand, and I don't want to. I don't know. How do you feel about this? Did you ever play Grand Theft Auto 4, Phil?
I did. I played a lot of Grand Theft Auto 4. Very good game, but also the very much like I feel like more than anything, Grand Theft Auto 4 was them finding their footing.
Sure.
With a new engine, because between Grand Theft Auto 3 and 4 there was what 3 games.
Yeah,
Grand
San
Theft Auto 3,
Andreas.
Vice City,
Yeah.
San Andreas, where they kind of mastered like, okay, this is what we're doing and we do it well. And then Grand Theft Auto 4 felt so much more simmy and like a little bit less arcadey, and like there was a lot of bugs they had to iron out.
Yes.
But I do remember it looking ahead of its time for what it was. This game, I feel like everybody got the sort of a remake bug, because not because of Oblivion, but like, Oblivion's doing it. They're doing it here. Nothing touches the Final Fantasy VII remake, because that is an actual remake and not just like we put the game in Unreal 5 and then pressed convert. Slap my mic. I'm not saying they did that for Oblivion. There was a lot of work involved.
Sure.
But
sure.
It does feel, especially with Rockstar, and I guess especially with 2K, like a very kind of, I don't trust it. They have made so much money off of like the least work involving way possible with Grand Theft Auto Online, where it's like, yeah, we know it's gonna print money, so let's not make Undead Nightmare 2 or any substantive stuff for Red Dead 2 Online.
Any of the fun stuff.
Yeah, just make sure the 12-year-olds are doing a line of Adderall and spending all their money on a plane in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a little bitter.
Yeah, he's bitter. He feels like no more remakes. It's May, and I've had it up to here with remakes. Okay, we got 7 more months.
Too many this year. But if they remade it, if it's a full top-to-bottom remake, which I don't think it would be, because they're going to be fully invested on Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah, I don't know. I think I hope it's a rumor, or if it's another company working on it, because if they release this, a lot of people are going to be upset and be like, we couldn't have Grand Theft Auto 6 this year because you wanted to make more money on Grand Theft Auto 4.
I mean, hopefully, if this is true, which I do think it has some legs, this rumor, hopefully they have given it to another team or another company, and they are working on it. And this, because like, I think if it gets out that it's like, no, we're using our team to remaster Grand Theft Auto 4 instead of working on Grand Theft Auto 6, people are going to be furious. They're still going to buy Grand Theft Auto 6, but it's going to be bad press.
But they will riot. They will legitimately go to the streets.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know. The price tag is the big thing for me. If this is $20 or less, absolutely. If you're gonna make me pay $50 to just replay through the story of Grand Theft Auto 4, I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
I did have a question though for you, just a very speculative question, but do you think that because of this news, there is any chance that Nico Bellic could be making a return to the Grand Theft Auto series?
That would be great. I think the titular character, well, not titular character, because his name isn't Grand Theft Auto, but Grand Theft Auto guy from, I believe, 3 has popped up in, like, was it San Andreas? Obviously, he's, like, almost the same character model in Vice City. It would be interesting to see that. Nico, it would be a weird deep cut, because, like, Nico isn't super popular, especially, like, compared to the Grand Theft Auto, specifically San Andreas and 5, I feel like have really popular protagonists.
Yeah.
Like so many people know who Trevor is.
Yeah, absolutely. well, I think like Grand Theft Auto 5 is just so popular, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
there's just no arguing that those characters are at the top of the popularity food chain. I do know that Nico Bellic is referenced in Grand Theft Auto 5, and
Yeah.
and that his cousin, who helps you out at the beginning of the game, he's in the entire game of Grand Theft Auto 4, but
Always calling you about bowling.
yes, but he is in Grand Theft Auto 5, his cousin.
Okay.
So Nico never makes an appearance. He is referenced though.
But the Saints and Sinner guys the Saints and Sinners like Grand Theft Auto DLC guys
Yes.
show up, and I believe get murdered by Trevor. Spoilers.
Yes, yes they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah, pretty wild sequence there with those guys.
Honestly, that would make me really happy is if Nico or even Cousin showed up in this game in some capacity, or like gave you a mission, or like, oh, Nico Bellic's a nightclub owner in not Florida, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the big thing for me that makes me very curious is because they talk about with Grand Theft Auto 6 being able, it's Vice City and beyond. That's their language that they've used. I don't know if that's purely a reference to the multiplayer, if that's how the multiplayer is going to work, or maybe they tease it in the single player where it's like you have to go to Empire City to do this mission, kind of a thing. I also, in a lot of popular media and in, real life history, there is a lot of crime that is transactional between New York City and Miami.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And so I think, could Nico pop up there possibly? We know that Michael is probably going to be in the game at some point. Everybody online says that's Michael's boat in the opening shot of the latest trailer. So I don't know. I think it'd be fun if we got some old characters back in and, not have them be the center of attention by any means, but like have there be a side mission or one story mission where they are involved in some capacity would be really fun. So
yeah, I'd love that. I do think that when they say beyond, I think they mean because they have like an Everglades and a Keys and like stuff that wasn't in Vice City originally. But if they open it up and we're like, you gotta go to Empire City, and like they have fully made that map Pokemon Gold and Silver style, where all of a sudden Kanto opens up, Hachi Machi, it would have been worth the wait.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's get into this week's main topic, and that is the Dune Awakening beta. There was a beta weekend this last week. Magically, Phil got into the beta, no problem. I, on the other hand, who have signed up for the beta months and months and months ago and wishlist the game on Steam months and months and months ago, did not get into the beta. And so I was like, damn it. Well, I guess I'll pre-order the game, because if you pre-order the game, you automatically get beta access. And so that is the only reason I was able to play it this weekend.
No!
So I was pissed off about that, very much so. Phil, I know we tried to play together, didn't work out on my end. I apologize for that. But you got some time to play with the game. I got some time later in the weekend to play the game. What were your initial impressions with Dune Awakening?
It definitely is a Dune game. Like, and I don't say that in a negative light, but I do mean to say it's dripping with like Dune stuff that you would find in a video game, but it also does feel kind of like a semi-basic. I mean, this is just from the first 5 hours.
No.
Semi-basic
Be
collection, collective crafting survival game. Some of the things you're surviving are other people out there, other scavengers, the Fremen. Space worms. I saw at one point where I like built my base, there was this ship kind of like flying around, and I didn't know like which people in Dune which house it came from, but it was just sort of like spotlighting different parts of the sand nearby me, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. But I think overall, some of the most thrilling moments I had were like seeing another actual person and being like, oh, were they trying to kill me? And like hiding around the rocks and climbing and like trying to figure out what was going on. But the game seems a bit repetitive and a bit like yeah, I guess that's it. It just seemed a bit repetitive to me, and the amount of survival stuff you have to do to get from point A to point B, while possibly realistic for the Dune universe, felt a bit stifling as a game.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm gonna get this one, Paul. What did you think? Where are you at with it?
Overall, I was disappointed.
Hmm.
I thought, to me, this felt like an alpha to me.
Yeah.
This did not feel like a beta, and I understand that's kind of like a vague criticism. But what I mean by that is, like, I see a beta as like a beta is for a game that's going to be releasing within a couple months. An
Hmm.
alpha is for a game that's going to be releasing in like a year. And that's what it felt like to me. This doesn't feel like a game that's going to release next month and be good. This, to me, is like, I think this, maybe we need to put this back in the oven till November and try again. Because
Yeah.
I first of all, the combat gameplay is pretty bad.
Hmm.
It's pretty bad. It feels like the Elder Scrolls Online. And,
Yeah.
like, look, I get it's an MMO. I'm not expecting it to be God of War Ragnarok. I'm not expecting it to be, like a online third person shooter or something like that. But it really felt like the Elder Scrolls Online, and the Elder Scrolls Online is an old game now. And
It
if you
is.
have gameplay that is exactly like that, where it's just like, well, there's some scavengers who spawn in the world, and you just you swipe, and like the also the rubber banding. I thought the servers were really bad.
Hmm.
And it made it difficult to do some of the platforming, which was also mediocre. I just thought that the gameplay was bad, and there's just
Hmm.
not really a lot of getting around that. Um, I thought that the maps looked cool. I like that they did put enough rocks in the area to be able to be like, you are in the middle of the desert, but there's not like nothing out here, which is what I was
Yeah.
a little concerned about. So I thought that the maps and the layout, that looked good. I think the building is okay, um, but I didn't like the UI for it.
Hmm.
I didn't like, oh, if I use the mouse wheel, it scrolls through the options instead of turning the building piece how I want it to turn. And it's just
Yeah.
like, that's a simple thing. And it reminded me of like the No Man's Sky building mechanics. But
Hmm.
I can give No Man's Sky leeway because that's a game that came out forever ago. This is a
Yeah.
brand new game. And so yeah, overall, I was not impressed. I was disappointed. I thought it was bad. Like, I didn't think it was horrible, but um, yeah,
Definitely feels old. Feels
it feels old. It
feels.
doesn't feel like a game
Yeah.
that's coming out in 2025. And again, I get that it's online, but like, here's an option. Maybe, let players make private servers like they do in V Rising. And also, like,
Hmm.
because I really didn't get a chance to play it till like Saturday. So by that time, I think I joined your server, and there was just so many people in the server. It's like there were houses everywhere. And so it's like, I'd
Yeah.
really like to be able to go to a rock and have that be my rock instead
Yeah.
of like sharing it with like four other people. But
Hmm.
that wasn't the case. And then I got stuck in this loop where I spent too much time exploring at the beginning of the game, and then I was just out of water, and
Yeah.
I couldn't get more. And even though I had research points to unlock like the blood water mechanic thing, it wouldn't let me do that because I didn't clear certain mission objectives. And so it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you got to get over to that thing, but I kept, getting dehydrated and dying over and over again because I didn't clear this mission objective instead of just letting me be able to get water. So that was really annoying. So it's, to me, this game needs to be delayed till Christmas time.
Yeah. For me, style points too were a bit off. Like the fact that you walk in, like the game opens up with your character and you pick their background and everything, and it felt like, at least with what I experienced, there wasn't much that you did with your background other than like an ability.
Sure.
But you're in a great room, and then the Ben Gesserit is there, and she's like, "Put your hand in the box," and it's the same scene that we saw with Paul Atreides, and I feel like that thing was supposed to be kind of special for Paul and also the other Ben Gesserit. Um, so it's just sort of strange to see that happen, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's the movie, hooray! Similarly, the fact that it just kind of feels like back in the day when movie tie-in games would come out, and they weren't great, they weren't terrible, and with the exception of the Wolverine Origins game, they were almost always worse than the movie. I feel like that is the situation we're here with Dune. Like, I don't know if this has the legs to keep people interested in it. Like, is Dune that type of IP? Has it kind of faded away from public consciousness? Sure, they'll get it out before whatever the third Dune movie is, but yeah, I don't know. I picked the soldier ability or the soldier like class at first,
The grapple,
which gives you like the grappling hook.
Yeah, I picked the same one. Yeah,
it's probably the best one, but it also, like, you could kill yourself with it relatively easily if you grapple something too high, because you don't like launch up to it and then climb onto the wall. You get shot over it, and then sometimes you'll get like just thrown off a cliff, and then you're rubber banding down to the ground. It's just a messy game.
There's so many problems with it, and I really think like how the trailers make this game look, both in like the frame rate, the lighting system, the graphics,
the textures,
it looked nothing like it looks in the trailers. And like, look, I'm running a 3060, GeForce graphics card. I understand that's not the best graphics card in the world, but that's pretty much the industry standard right now. And if your game can't run on a 3060, then that's your fault. Like, you have to optimize your game for it to run. And again, I get it was a beta. I get it. You can't expect things to be perfect in a beta, but that's why like I originally said, it felt like an alpha. It felt like this is the concept, but we still have a lot more to dump into this game before it's a working, functional thing.
And it comes out June 10th. So soon for what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it was supposed to come out this week originally, and they delayed it a month. So I guess maybe the publisher, like maybe they asked for a delay, and the publisher was like, we'll give you 3 more weeks. But it's nowhere near enough time. And it's disappointing because like I wanted this game to be really good. And I do think that the game has a salvageable foundation. But a lot of work ahead for that team to make it a good game. So
and maybe it'll be a No Man's Sky situation, and in 3 years it'll be incredible.
Yeah, but at this point I am I'm like, should I? Because I pre-ordered it to get into that beta. I'm kind of like, do I do the refund? Because you can do the refund for pre-orders, and so I think I am gonna do that, and then maybe come back to the game after it's gotten some updates. Play more Expedition 33, play Doom: The Dark Ages, play more Helldivers. Let Dune marinate, because not ready. Not ready.
Let them go back into their Dune cave and keep Duning until they get it correct. I learned about gooning from the Reddit.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. For all you younger listeners out there, who's cool now?
Gooning is not something I've taken the time to understand yet. So, maybe.
Yeah, check it out off camera.
Send me some links.
Okay. Oh, well.
All right. Well, any more thoughts about Dune or anything else going on this week, Phil?
Not in particular. I tell you what, though. There's a pretty cool video. Let me see if I can find the link to it anywhere. But it was sort of about the history and the production of Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Oh, yes.
I know I've been singing that game's praises nonstop, but the method through which it was created, the people who came together to work on it, it is pretty impressive and a unique story in the game's sphere. So I would suggest everyone check this video out as soon as I can find my history on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I did see something earlier about how originally the game didn't have the Nevrons, the enemies that you have in the game, that it was more like steampunk, and they were going to be like zombies and aliens. And then you were talking to me about how those were like Unreal Engine placeholders, right, Phil? That they were just using those assets for the meantime until they made other decisions or improvements later in the game. So
yeah, a lot of that stuff was Unreal Engine 4 assets that they just had available and used it to make basically a demo to get backers and people to come work on the game. The video is by Pounder McNasty, so on his behalf I apologize, but it is a very thoughtful look into the 6-year development cycle for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It goes in depth on the music, which was someone who got kind of found on SoundCloud by the dev team.
Yeah, I saw that. That's super cool. Yeah.
One of the head writers auditioned to be a voice actor in it, and then it just sort of went up from there. Big props to Kepler, the small indie sort of studio that gives made like Sifu and all these other games that kind of give indies just the ability to do whatever they want to do. So so the title of the video is Clair Obscur Expedition 33's Wild 6-Year Development Cycle by Pounder McNasty. Go check it out.
Sorry, keep them.
What's wrong? What's so funny about Pounder McNasty?
I don't. Nothing. There's nothing funny at all. All right. Well, with that, let's wrap up episode 77 of the GGG podcast. Thank you for joining us this week. It was a good show. Feel like, not a lot of news, but very pointed. You got to the point, and like I love Helldivers. I hate to crap on Dune Awakening so much because I was so excited for it, but I have to be objective and I have to be honest. I'm glad we're on the same page about it, Phil, because it was not a great experience. So I'm gonna look up how to refund it after this, because I don't think I've used the refund system in Steam yet. So
yeah, for the good of them, I think you should get your money back, because they need to see that people are like, hey, maybe don't. This one's not ready. Put her back in the oven.
Yeah, for real. So very disappointing. But all right. We're wrapping it up there. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to our podcast on YouTube, we'd really appreciate it. Hit that button. And if you're listening to the audio only version on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, follow us over there as well. We will be back next week to talk probably more Doom the Dark Ages, or at least I know I will be playing it this week, and that is very exciting for me. So yay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good weekend for crushing stuff.
All right, peace out, everybody.